Vidal Sassoon, CBE, was a British hairdresser, businessman, and philanthropist. He is credited with creating a simple geometric, Bauhaus-inspired hairstyle, also called the wedge bob. Establishing himself in the US in 1965, he opened the first chain of worldwide hairstyling salons, complemented by a line of hair treatment products that became an international brand. His company's 1980s television commercials featured the popular tagline, "If you don't look good, we don't look good." Vidal Sassoon, the movie, a documentary film about his life, was released in 2010. Early life: Sassoon was born in Hammersmith, London, and lived in Shepherd's Bush. His parents were Sephardic Jews. His mother, Betty, came from a family of immigrants from Spain, and his father, Jack Sassoon, was from Thessaloniki, Greece. Sassoon had a younger brother, Ivor, who died from a heart attack at the age of 46. His father left his family when Vidal was 3 years old. Due to poverty as a single parent, his mother placed Sassoon and his younger brother in a Jewish orphanage, where they stayed for 7 years until he was 11 when his mother remarried. His mother was only allowed to visit them once a month and was never allowed to take them out. He attended Essendon Road Primary School, a Christian school, before being evacuated due to WWII to Holt, Wiltshire. After his return to London, he left school at the age of 14 and worked as a messenger before starting a hairdressing apprenticeship. In his youth, he was also a football player. At the age of 17, although he had been too young to serve in World War II, he became the youngest member of the 43 Group, a Jewish veterans underground organisation. It broke up the British Union of Fascists meetings in East London. The Daily Telegraph calls him an anti-fascist warrior hairdresser, whose aim was to prevent Sir Oswald Mosley's movement from spreading messages of hatred in the period following World War II. In 1948, at the age of 20, he joined the Haganah and fought in the 1948 Arab-Israeli War, which began after Israel declared statehood. During an interview, he described the year he spent training with the Israelis as the best year of my life, and recalled how he felt. "When you think of 2,000 years of being put down and suddenly you are a nation rising, it was a wonderful feeling. There were only 600,000 people defending the country against 5 armies, so everyone had something to do." Career: Sassoon trained under Raymond Besson, in his salon in Mayfair. In 2010, Sassoon stated that he really taught me how to cut hair. "I'd never have achieved what I have without him." Sassoon opened his first salon in 1954 in London. Singer-actress Georgia Brown, his friend and neighbour, claimed to be his first customer. Sassoon stated his intentions in designing new, more efficient, hairstyles. "If I was going to be in hairdressing, I wanted to change things. I wanted to eliminate the superfluous and get down to the basic angles of cut and shape." Sassoon's works include the geometric perm and the Nancy Corn hairstyles. They were all modern and low maintenance. The hairstyles created by Sassoon relied on dark, straight, and shiny hair cut into geometric yet organic shapes. In 1963, Sassoon created a short, angular hairstyle cut on a horizontal plane that was the recreation of the classic bob cut. His geometric haircuts seemed to be severely cut, but were entirely lacquer-free, relying on the natural shine of the hair for effect. Advertising and cosmetics executive Natalie Donay is credited with discovering Sassoon in London and bringing him to the United States, where in 1965 he opened his first New York City salon, on Madison Avenue. In October 1971, Sassoon promoted his 30-year-old second-in-command, artistic director Roger Thompson, to director of the Sassoon Salon, explaining jocularly that, 25 years of schlepping behind the barber chair are enough. Sassoon began his Vidal Sassoon line of haircare products in 1973. The actor Michael Caine, who when young and struggling was roommates with Terence Stamp and Vidal Sassoon, "He used to cut my hair, and he always had a lot of models around," claimed to have inspired this, saying, "I told him that he must have something that is working for him while he slept. I told him he had to make shampoos and other hair care products." Whatever the inspiration, Sassoon's brand was applied to shampoos and conditioners sold worldwide. with a commercial campaign featuring the iconic slogan "If you don't look good, we don't look good." Former salon colleagues also bought Sassoon's salons and acquired the right to use his name, extending the brand in salons into the United Kingdom and the United States. The El Paso, Texas-based Helen of Troy Corporation began manufacturing and marketing Sassoon haircare products in 1980. On April 24, 1983, the firm Richardson Vicks, which already owned the Pantone haircare line, announced it had purchased the Los Angeles-based Vidal Sassoon Incorporated for an undisclosed amount, as well as Sassoon's Santa Monica, California, hairdressing school. The company had already bought his European businesses. Sassoon's 1982 sales of hair products had topped $110 million, with 80% of revenues derived in the U.S. Its management team at the time was headed by Sassoon, President and CEO Joseph Solomon, and Executive Vice President Martin Nation. 2 years later the company was bought by Procter & Gamble. Vidal, who remained a consultant through at least the mid-1990s, sued in 2003 for breach of contract and fraud in federal court for allegedly neglecting the marketing of his brand name in favor of the company's other hair product lines, such as Pantone. In 2002, the chain of Vidal Sassoon salons was sold to Regis Corporation. By 2004, it was reported that Sassoon was no longer associated with the brand that bears his name. He also had a short-lived television series called Your New Day with Vidal Sassoon, which aired in 1980. Sassoon was twice a guest on BBC Radio 4's Desert Island Discs, on June 27, 1970 and October 9, 2011, when he was also resident thinker on the Now Highland Art Project. Honours: Sassoon was appointed Commander of the Order of the British Empire in the 2009 Birthday Honours. Personal life: Sassoon married his first wife, Elaine Wood, his salon receptionist, in 1956. The marriage ended in 1958 when she left Sassoon for British water skiing champion David Nations. In 1967, he married his second wife, actress Beverly Adams. They had 3 biological children and 1 adopted son, daughter Katia, an actress who died from a drug-induced heart attack. Son Ilan Ben Vidal. Son David. And daughter Eden Sassoon. Some sources additionally cite Oli Sassoon, a music video director who spells his last name slightly differently, as a son, but this appears to be an error. Sassoon and Adams divorced after 13 years of marriage. His third wife was Jeanette Hartford Davis, a dressage champion and former fashion model. They married in 1983 and divorced soon after. In 1992 he married designer Rhonda Ronnie Sassoon. Sassoon disinherited his son David, with whom he was estranged, stating in his will, "My son David Sassoon and his issue are hereby disinherited and shall take nothing under this will, and for the purposes of the will, shall be deemed to have predeceased me, leaving no surviving issue." He also left nothing in his will to his first 3 wives, Elaine Nations, Beverly Sassoon and Jeanette Sassoon. Sassoon in his 2010 autobiography described David, adopted in 1975 at age 3, as an African-American Euro/Euro-Asian boy. With twinkling eyes and an irresistible smile, who nonetheless became troubled and was eventually sent to a reform school. Philanthropy. In 1982, Sassoon started the Vidal Sassoon International Center for the Study of Antisemitism, or SICSA, a research center devoted to the non-political, interdisciplinary gathering of information about antisemitism. After selling his company, he then worked towards philanthropic causes such as the Boys Clubs of America and the Performing Arts Council of the Music Center of Los Angeles via his Vidal Sassoon Foundation. He was also active in supporting relief efforts after Hurricane Katrina. It also funded educational pursuits on a need basis in Israel and elsewhere. At the time of his death he had academies in England, the United States and Canada, while initiating plans to open new ones in Germany and China. Illness and death. In June 2011 it was reported that Sassoon had been diagnosed with leukemia 2 years earlier, and was receiving treatment in Beverly Hills, California, USA and London, UK. He died on May 9, 2012 at his home in Bel Air, Los Angeles. His death was originally reported to be a result of natural causes, and later reported to have been a result of his leukemia. He died in the presence of his family. Los Angeles Police Department spokesman Kevin Mariberger said that when the police arrived at his residence at Mulholland Drive he was already dead. A memorial service was planned for a later date. Reactions to his death included Neil Cornelius, the incumbent owner of Sassoon's first solo venture, who said that his death was the loss of a hairdressing legend. "It is very, very sad because I grew up in the East End like Vidal and from the age of 11 I wanted to be a hairdresser like Vidal. I remember the first time I met him. I have washed the hair of Princess Diana, I have met Nelson Mandela, but meeting Vidal Sassoon topped all of those. I know it sounds crazy but I could not sleep before the first time I met him. He was a hairdressing legend." Other celebrity hairstylists also commented on his death. Lee Stafford said that Sassoon revolutionized the way everybody wears their hair today. "He also made British hairdressing the best in the world, he was my hero." While Oscar Blandy credited Sassoon for showing him the true art of styling. "He truly changed the world of hair and beauty. He was definitely the most innovative person ever to enter the industry. He led the way for the celebrity stylists of today," and Tabitha Coffey wrote on Twitter that "my great day turned into a devastating day. R.I.P. Vidal Sassoon, thank you for all you have done for our industry and for me." Grace Coddington, Sassoon's former model and creative director of American Vogue, said that he changed the way everyone looked at hair. "Before Sassoon, it was all backcombing and lacquer. The whole thing was to make it high and artificial. Suddenly you could put your fingers through your hair. He did a unregistered trademark to create Sassoon's 5-point cut for me. He created it on me. It was an extraordinary cut. No one has bettered it since. And it liberated everyone. Who could just sort of drip dry it and shake it." While John Barrett of the John Barrett Salon at Bergdorf Goodman said that Sassoon was the creator of sensual hair. "This was somebody who changed our industry entirely, not just from the point of view of cutting hair but actually turning it into a business. He was one of the first who had a product line bought out by a major corporation." Books and films. Sorry I Kept You Waiting, Madam, his autobiography, Sassoon, Vidal. Sassoon, Beverly. A Year of Beauty and Health. New York, Simon & Schuster. ISBN 0-207-95751-7. Cutting Hair the Vidal Sassoon Way. Sassoon, Vidal. Vidal, The Autobiography. London, Macmillan. ISBN 978-0-230-74689-3. Vidal Sassoon, The Movie, How One Man Changed the World with a Pair of Scissors, a documentary film directed by Craig Tepper. See also, Vidal Sassoon International Center for the Study of Anti-Semitism. References. External links, Vidal Sassoon, The Movie on YouTube, official trailer, Voices on Antisemitism interview with Vidal Sassoon from the U.S. Holocaust Memorial Museum, The Secret Life of Vidal Sassoon, The Movie at the Internet Movie Database a documentary.